Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another. Welcome to another edition of Encrypted Connections. My name is Kyle, and I am your host. Had to take a couple days off. This thing work okay? Can you guys hear me? Hello, everybody. What's up, Long Island? What's up, Joe? What's up, Bigfoot Lake? Cashew, Brandon, Miss Rose, everybody. Sharon, good to have you guys. Taylor, thank you for being here. Brown Dwarf, good evening. So tonight, I took a couple nights off. I had to. I just wasn't feeling myself for a few days, and I was having some back pains, and just it was off, and I just needed a couple days to rest. So I apologize for that, because I always feel bad if I'm not here. And I also had a guest back out on me last minute, which that always sucks. Trying to get somebody else to come on, it's very difficult to get somebody to pop in at the last minute. So that didn't work out. So anyway, I apologize for that. But I'm here now, and tonight we are going to talk about the Dyatlov Pass incident. I'm going to guess and say that probably most people have heard of it at this point. It is. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that, buddy. Especially because I had to bail out on you, man. I'm sorry, but we'll get together this weekend. Yes, get to know our friend Can Squatch. Wonderful guy. Just a sweet, kind human being. He deserves all of our support. So please go over and sub to Cans. I had a wonderful time talking with Cans that night. He was a true gentleman of a host, and yeah, he's a good guy. So please go sub to Cans. Wonderful dude. Just like so many people are in this group of people. Hello, old spirit. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Dyatlov Pass incident. I'm guessing most people have heard about this at this point. If you haven't, it's pretty crazy. So I'm just going to get into it because there's no point in just kind of dilly-dallying around. Cans is a great guy. So basically, what happened is, I believe it's about 62 years ago now. I think if I have the, so 1959, 9 experienced hikers suddenly disappeared in the snowy mountains of Russia called the Ural Mountains. Translated into English, it is the Dead Mountains. I don't know why you would ever go venture into a place called the Dead Mountains. Experienced hikers or not. I'm not doing it. It's just not happening. But these people did. And again, they were very experienced. It took more than 3 months to locate their bodies, but the circumstances around their deaths are still unanswered today. The group consisted of 7 men and 2 women, of whom were attempting the hike to reach Mount Ortertine. I don't know, some kind of Mount Ortertine. They planned a 2-week trek up the snowy mountain. The trekkers pitched their tents at the base of the slope, and soon an intense minus 19 degrees Celsius blizzard chilled through the night, and that was the last we know of them being alive. It's called that because nothing grows there. Oh, good to know. Maybe because 9 people died there too. Well, actually, it was named that before they died there, but Local Mansi tribe named the Dead Mountain due to the lack of wildlife on the peak. Right on. So they were found in the forest 1 mile from the campsite in various stages of undress without their skis, shoes, or coats. 2 of them had fractured skulls. 2 others had suffered chest fractures. Another one of the hikers had a missing tongue. The case was abruptly closed and the deaths were ruled as a result of a compelling natural force, stating that the hikers died to hypothermia. Right. The mystery has obsessed people ever since. Most people didn't take the police's word for it. As you can probably assume, people had a lot of questions regarding this mysterious case. Why would someone's tongue be missing due to a natural force? Why were they partially undressed, and which natural force are they referring to? The investigators found the tent badly damaged, and it had been cut open from the inside. All of their supplies were safely located inside. You have to wonder, why would they go outside into the freezing cold if they had a perfectly good tent to hide in from the elements and they had access to warm gear inside that tent? As far as I know, generally speaking, hypothermia does not cause psychosis. I'm sure there are rare cases. Yes, 1 female had an eye missing from the orbital socket. Yep, that's true too. So if hypothermia doesn't generally cause psychosis, what would make these people in a perfectly safe tent, sheltered from the elements outside, cut it open and leave it in various stages of undress? That's the first part, right? Why did they do that? The second part in that then is, if this is a natural force, what type of natural force removes a tongue, an eye? I can understand something happening to break, to fracture bones, but to remove a tongue or an eye, it just doesn't add up. There have been so many different theories and conspiracies surrounding this. And yeah, Ridge Runner, outside without shoes. Yeah, it makes no sense. Hey Don, nice to have you, buddy. They had a place where they were completely, maybe not completely safe, but safe from the wind and the snow and all those things inside this tent with warm gear and food and all that stuff. So why cut it open? Why leave it? And then how does a natural occurring thing like hypothermia explain a missing tongue, a missing eye, and fractured chests? It just does not make sense to me. Soft tissue like that is eaten by predators, but there's no predators up there really. There's like Bigfoot Lake said it. They named this mountain Dead Mountain because of the lack of animals at the top. There's just not. There's nothing up there really. So, and it didn't. And from all accounts, it didn't seem like it was eaten or bitten off. That's the whole thing. If it was chewed off, they would have. I'm sure these people who investigated this would have been able to say, "Oh, by the way, this looked like a predator ate it." But all accounts don't point to that. They continue to try to explain this away by hypothermia or an avalanche. An avalanche doesn't remove a tongue. An avalanche doesn't remove an eye. Yeah, it'll fracture bones, but it doesn't do those other things. This is strange stuff. 9 experienced hikers, too. We're talking about experienced people. They've been out there. They've been hiking and doing this for a long time. They knew what they were doing. They knew what it took to survive in a situation like this. So why in this particular situation, do they abandon everything they know? Why? Does anyone have any theories? I'd love to hear someone's theories. I mean, they've probably all been thrown out there, but you know, I'd love to know what you guys think, because it just doesn't make any sense. They were buried under 14 feet of snow before the last were found weeks later, so no predators getting to that depth. Right? Exactly. Thank you, Bigfoot Lake. Yes. So again, no predators ate their tongue or their eyes. They were buried. You know, it's snowslide that woke them up in different stages of undress. They panicked, exited the tent, and ran. Got separated. A few lit a fire but froze anyway and fell into the flames. Miss Rose says something terrorizing was outside the front of the tent. They tried to run out the back. They were running from something, possibly, right? Who knows? You know, it's just strange. I wish I could type. Don't worry, I can't type either. Long Island. It's just strange, and they've had all kinds of people investigate this for so long, and they've not come up with a full plausible explanation. They landed on an avalanche, probably because they just got so overrun with people talking about this, where they were just like, all right, well, let's settle with this. Yeah, exactly. Slab avalanche, the most popular explanation, but there was no evidence of that happening. Exactly. Thank you, Bigfoot. You know, that's the thing, is these explanations just don't have the evidence to back them up. If it's an avalanche, a slab avalanche, but there's no evidence of that, then how can it be that? Yeah, lots of details, no answers. And this is 1959. This is a long time ago. See, here's the thing, right? And it could be something as simple as a natural something, with weird circumstances. I don't know. But when you're talking about experienced hikers cutting their tent from the inside to escape, I guess if there was an avalanche coming, and they felt like they couldn't unzip it fast enough, they'd cut their way out. But that's the one thing that really sticks in my head. The best theory I ever heard of this incident was Wes Germer's take on it when he and Kerry dedicated an episode of SC to it. Yeah, I've never heard that episode, actually, surprisingly enough. Right. The photo of the dark figure behind a tree is puzzling, whether it's a hiker or not. Very puzzling. Radiation detected, yep, on some of the clothes. Radiation could also come from ET. Cutting heavy canvas is not easy, right? That's the one thing that really gets me, is that cutting themselves out of the tent. That, to me, points to the direction of panic, pure fear, right? They needed to get out of there as fast as they could, whether they were dressed for what was going on outside or not. So why? 9 experienced hikers abandoned their safe place, all their gear, all their warmth, all their food. What caused them to panic that bad that they literally abandoned every bit of training and experience they had? I can't imagine it's an avalanche. I'm sure they were experienced with what to do during an avalanche. That's the whole thing. It's just a strange thing. And then Dana says, I agree with Bigfoot Lake. The radiation is the key. It could be. Don says, so many UFO encounters lead to radiation burns, so that's a possibility. Absolutely. Why were they separated? Why separate and go different directions? Stay together for protection. Exactly. So, again, We're going right back to they abandoned everything that they knew, all of the training that they had, all the experience they had over the years. They abandoned it all. So you know, it's just puzzling. It's just so puzzling. The UFO encounter thing is something that you know, sticks in my head. If you look across the globe, you see many UFO encounters happening in mountain ranges. And you know, I don't know why that is. Maybe something to do with quartz deposits in some of these mountains, because obviously quartz holds energy, and you know, there's been many UFO reports in places in the United States where there's quartz deposits in mountain ranges where, you know, these things are. So who knows? But when you think about radiation, when you think about panicking, abandoning everything that they know, and exiting that tent as fast as they could, separating themselves from each other, partially undressed, to me, it's just got to be something bigger. That's just me. To escape any bear or predator. Found an area where one man fell out of a tree. Why did he climb up there? Yeah, you're right. Why? So, just so many questions. It could, people climb trees to get out of the way of an avalanche, right? I've seen it happen. Maybe not the smartest thing, but people do it, especially if they're scared. But it all goes back to these people have been doing this for a long time. They knew what they were doing. This is not some Joe Schmo who's on the side of a mountain. And 9 of them together should have been able to put their heads together and you know, at least a few of them stay calm in that moment, unless it was something that none of them were prepared for at all. That's the way I look at it. It's the internal torso injuries were many, very odd, huge injuries. Yeah, the locals would not go into that area without their dogs and guns. See, all these strange things. They weren't even supposed to be on that peak at Dead Mountain. They got disoriented on the climb. Instead of adjusting, they decided to camp there on that exposed slope. That's another oddity, right? Wind made infrasound that drove them crazy. Yeah, exactly. All these different theories, never ending in a real solid answer. It's just perplexing. You know, Bigfoot Lake had a show the other night about cattle mutilations, right? Just another perplexing mystery that's just so crazy. The tongue thing and the eye thing in this are the two things, besides cutting themselves out of a tent, that get me the most. No predators up there could get to them. So how is a tongue removed? How is an eye removed? I'm about to sneeze. Oh my goodness. Apologies. Wow, that rarely happens. Of course it happened during my show. Apologies. Massive infrasound that could cause confusion. Yeah. Right. So, the only plausible explanation up to this point as to why the hiker's tongue had been removed is something or someone physically removed it. There was no proof any other people had been near the campsite, and there are few, if any, predators up there at all. And this comes from, you know, articles and news clippings. This is not just somebody making this up. Thanks, Mike. Man been picked up and dropped into the tree. In some cattle mutilation cases, a cow has been found in the crook of a tree drops from high above. And again, what does that point to? Eyes could be removed due to pressure from military testing of new radioactive weapons by the Russians, possibly. Who knows? The other thing that's strange, I'll get it for you right now. Have you ever heard of the Korovina group? Anybody? It's another Russian group. The Shambar Daban mountain range in Buryasha. Strange lights in the sky during that time period. Yeah. To freeze to death in August is a most enviable outcome, but that fate befell a group of tourists from Kazakhstan led by professional climber Ludmila Korovina. Once they made it to Buryasha, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If there's any Russian folks out there, I'm trying my best. I haven't been brushing up on my Russian lately. The group set out on a journey across the Shamar Daban mountain range on the 2nd of August. The weather wasn't on their side. It was pouring down cold rain and snow. Nevertheless, the group continued on their route relatively safely until the 5th of August. 6 out of 7 in the group did not survive. The only survivor, Valentina Yutachenko, 17, later wrote in a statement how, during the difficult descent, carried out in near zero visibility, one of the members of the group was struck down hard, foaming at the mouth and bleeding from the ears. The rest of the group shortly developed the same symptoms. The 6 members who died had done so almost simultaneously after rolling around on the ground, tearing their clothes off and clutching their throats. The young woman was left alone. Nearly unconscious, she navigated the power lines until she reached a river at the bottom, where she was rescued by a group of kayaking tourists. The autopsies revealed telltale signs of hypothermia. There was bruising of the lungs as well as protein deficiency, a symptom of undereating. But the available information doesn't explain everything. Why would Korovina lead the group down the bare upper arm of the ridge when they could have just as easily taken the woodland-covered trail down? What was behind the gruesome bleeding, or the protein deficiency, given that the group ate healthy? How could 6 people die in a matter of minutes? And finally, how did the 7th member of the group survive? Yutachenko herself chalks it up to being in great physical shape and prefers to not discuss the incident at all. So this is another group of Russian hikers who died under very, very weird circumstances. Eerily similar to Dyatlov, exactly. How does 6 people die simultaneously at almost exactly the same time, clutching their throats, bleeding from their ears, and having a protein deficiency when they were eating healthy the whole time they were there? Weird, man. Just weird. And she won't talk about it. The survivor just won't talk about it. She says she was in great physical shape. That's how she made it out. Right. I'm sure that's it. So just another strange one. But that's not it. There's another group. Have you ever heard of the Shatayeva group? Well, I'm going to tell you about them. Unlike the group that perished in Buryasha, this group, led by Elvira Shatayeva, was comprised entirely of professional climbers. But the mountain they were trying to conquer was also much taller. Shatayeva was a professional athlete, one of the most famous climbers in all of the USSR. She had set an ambitious task for the group to conquer the 7,000er with an all-female group, a feat that had never been attempted until then. The group ascended on August 5th, reporting their status to base camp, who congratulated the climbers, but it was too early to celebrate. On the trip back that same evening, the weather deteriorated considerably, forcing the group to set up camp for the night. The following day saw even worse winds, and descending further was simply too dangerous. But Shatayeva reported, "One of our members fell ill. She had been vomiting up her food the entire day. Erring on the side of caution, base camp recommended that the group continue on their descent. On August 7th, a heavy blizzard struck the slope, a much worse occurrence than on land. The snowstorm blew away all the group's provisions, including the tents, where 2 group members are said to have perished. Another in the group had died shortly before the heavy snow hit, having evidently fallen ill as well. The survivors were left with nothing and trapped by snow. There were other groups of climbers in the vicinity who were rushing to help but could not make it through. The last transmission was sent by someone other than Shatayeva and said the following: "There are 2 of us left. We are all out of strength. In 15 to 20 minutes, we will be no more." And that's a very, 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 very creepy, sad message to receive. Man, even reading it. Ugh. Looking on the surface, there is little mystery in this tragic case. However, journalist and climber Anatoly Ferapantov, in his book The Ascenders, draws attention to certain inconsistencies that arose following inspection of the campsite. One of the panoramic shots contains a clearly visible rock with a tea kettle placed on it. The blizzard would have blown it away. As for the torn tents, there had been no blizzards in the area strong enough to tear up a fastened tent. It could only have been torn by a person in a state of hysteria. Exactly what kind of affliction might have struck the camp, or whether it had indeed caused the first death, remains a mystery. Ferapantov also quotes one of the climbers from a nearby group: "It wasn't how it happened." Thank you. There's a reason, Long Island Bigfoot says, none of it adds up, it can't be explained. There's also a reason why the authorities are quick to come up with an explanation, even though it's inconclusive. Yeah, I agree. This is 3 different groups of Russian hikers. 2 of them were experienced. The one group was all professional. The leader of that group was one of the best professional climber athletes in Russia, in the USSR. We are not talking about everyday folks who are like, yeah, let's go climb a 7,000-foot mountain. All of the circumstances surrounding all 3 of these groups perishing are strange. Why? Why 3 Russian groups of hikers on 3 different mountains die in strange circumstances? Why? This is another one of those things where the more I read it, the more I continue to just I'm baffled by it. Because when you read what authorities say, and the people who investigated these things say, or other professional hikers, it doesn't add up. It's all very, very strange. Sounds just like the cattle mutilations. 4 bodies have been found in South America with same injuries: eyes and tongues missing, anal area cored out, internal organs removed through small hole below armpit, all blood drained. Wow. What was this recently? J.D. Leslie, was this recently that these bodies were found? I haven't heard about this. I'd love to hear more. Sounds exactly like the cattle mutilations. It's so strange. I was talking to Bigfoot Lake the other night when he had a show on. I was telling him about somebody I know who was a police officer in Colorado in the early 2000s who was called to investigate one of these mutilations. I was able to see the pictures that were taken, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, whatever killed those cattle, I don't think it's from here. If you've ever taken all the stuffing out of a stuffed animal, and what it looks like afterwards, where the cloth and everything is just kind of flattened and like folds and all that, that's what these things looked like. Not to mention they had completely, perfectly, geometrically perfect round holes cut in them. But when their forensic people did their job, they said there was no evidence of there being any kind of tool used to cut those holes. It was almost as if they were just kind of plucked right out, drained of blood. I mean, how does that happen? How does that happen? I don't wait a so-called scientists tell me something exists. We know the truth. Yeah, I agree. Right. Let me highlight this one. Cattle didn't even have time to decompose. Many times they were discovered only a couple hours after being seen alive. So in this one I'm talking about in Colorado, the farmer had a 5-foot high electric fence around his whole property. He had these giant, super bright motion lights everywhere, right? What gets past a 5-foot high electric fence to get into where these cows are? None of these lights went off apparently. The last time he'd seen it was outside was 11:30 p.m. He went out at 5:30 a.m. to go see them and do whatever he needed to do, and they were dead. So from 11:30 to 5:30, they were drained of their blood. Organs, I think all or most of their organs were gone. I can't remember that part. And then these weird holes, perfectly round holes that there was no cutting tool used to make in them. Explanation? I have to lean towards, in my opinion, it's either some kind of government thing that's being covered up, or it's ETs. Because how does that happen? David Devine, David Devine broadcasted. What's going on, brother? Hey, Watt Life, thank you for being here. That's fresh. What's going on? Carcasses are bloodless, all organs, and incredibly precise scalpel cutting. Yeah, but that's the thing. So in this case in Colorado that I'm talking about, where I knew the police officer and he showed me the pictures, the forensic people determined that there was no scalpel used, there was no tool used to cut these holes. It was almost like they just kind of appeared there magically. It's just crazy. And I knew starting the Dyatlov Pass thing, I couldn't do a whole hour show on that. I knew it would lead into other things, and that's fine. That's why it's kind of why I did it, because I think so many of these things are. No, you're good, Fresh. No, you have to apologize. This is in the UK. Okay, all right, crazy. See, this is what I mean. Stuff happens all over the place. It just lends itself to all these mysteries of the world that we just don't know. I was talking to Bigfoot Lake the other night. I said, hey, whatever happened to crop circles? Do you hear about them anymore? Don't even talk about them anymore? Do you remember how much of a mystery those were? I remember the first time that I saw pictures of them. These intricate, I mean, just absolutely incredibly intricate patterns in these crops that most had been determined that they were not made by people, that they couldn't have been made by people. There was radiation present on the ground and in the area. There was high electromagnetic levels. People don't talk about that stuff. Now the mystery is the missing crop circles. Yeah, where'd they go? They're probably on a Russian mountain somewhere. But people don't talk about those anymore. And crop circles are still occurring. I know, but again, so it's not this big deal like it used to be, though. Is that because now all of a sudden they've admitted to us that UFOs are real? And not much to talk about now? Oh yeah, no crap circles. Yep, they were being made by UFOs. I remember seeing videos of weird lights flying over these fields, not big ones, small ones, like orb type lights, but flying and in pattern. And, and then, these things are occurring. It's just amazing. Amazing. These crazy, crazy, crazy mysteries. The government is controlling the food now, so no more crop circles because it's their crops. Yeah, probably. Watch out for the food shortage that's coming soon, folks. Promise you. It's already here. Look at the price of food right now. It's nuts. Nuts. I went to the store today. I got 2 bags. 2 bags. Nothing major. I almost had a stroke when I saw how much it cost. Kyle, did you see a documentary in the crop circle made in the UK about the guys that manufactured them with footboards on rope handles? I did see that. I did. I saw a couple things about people with the rope boards and stuff. And that's cool. Like, I'm sure other people did do this, but there were crop circles that were 100% determined to have not been made by people. They said that there's no way these plants could have been pushed down in the manner that they were, laid the way they were, without some sort of other evidence that people were there. Christine Murphy says there are cases of human mutilations too, and if our governments cover it up, they're somehow involved. Research the KLF guys. I will do that. I'm gonna put that right in my phone right now. So Christine, are you saying that because you mean like if the government covers it up, then people blame them for it, and you don't believe that it's their fault, or are you saying that if the government covers it up, then it's probably because they're doing it? I'm curious. Not upset one way or the other, just curious. Sorry, I want to put this in my phone. The KLF guys. Thanks, Fresh. All right, sweet. Done and done. Some YouTube sites still post crop circles. Right, yeah. I'd love to go see some. I wish I knew where they were occurring. If there was any place that was, remotely close by, I would love to go see some. I'd love to take pictures. I'd love to bring some EMF readers out there, some other equipment, and see what we could find. It'd be amazing. If the government is aware of something that they cannot control, can't communicate with, or negotiate with, or defend us from, the denial may be the best prudent reaction. I think that they believe that. I don't know that I do. I think that, look at the UFO thing, right? There's no way that they could ever protect us from those things. Just the fact that they can get here from wherever they're coming from proves that whatever technology they have is thousands and thousands of years ahead of us. Imagine the weaponry that they have. Imagine the way that they could defend themselves or attack if they needed to. There's no way that they could do a damn thing if those things decide that they're going to take over. They kept it from us for a long time because they thought it was going to cause panic. And guess what? When they finally told us, everybody just was like, what? With UFOs? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. And just went about their day like it was nothing. That should have been the biggest story of the year, of the last 10 years, 20, 50, 100, that UFOs are real. They've been visiting here for how long? And it was, hey, by the way, we've just been joshing you since, like the 30s and 40s. We've just been pulling your leg. Yeah, they're real. They've been real this whole time. Don't worry about it, though. We're not lying about anything else. We're cool. I call BS. They're lying about that. They're lying about everything. If they can lie about one thing, they'll probably lie about everything. When you study the structure of words, etymology, the word govern, meant, is a two-part word. Govern to control, and meant, the latter Hebrew, is mind. Right. Absolutely. Yep. And fresh. Awesome. Thank you for that. That was amazing. I need to highlight that. That's great. Read that, folks. Read that right there. Our whole lives, apart from our experiences, are a completely manufactured lie. Look at education. Look at, I'm going to go back to what this channel started as. It's a Bigfoot channel, right? Everything they taught us in school about where we come from naturally, these things are real. I don't care what anybody says. They are real. Sasquatch are real. Bigfoot are real. Forest beings are real, which I think is what I'm probably going to call them from now on, forest beings, because I truly believe that they are our closest living relative, and they are more akin to us, to humans, than anything else. But that's beside the point. So, yes, education is BS. They've lied to us about so many things. They've hidden Bigfoot and Sasquatch from us. I'm sure they know they exist. If we know, they know, right? So, hiding that from us, they've continued to lie to us over and over about where we come from naturally and who our relatives are naturally, anthropologically. They've lied. And so our whole history is bull. Think about that. Think about that. The admittance of this species of hominid would completely change natural history in every school system in America. You're talking about a humanitarian issue when if they ever admit that these forest beings are real. It's just crazy. The words education and system are two words that should never go together and should immediately raise red flags. Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree. Christine Murphy says, I think most of us have witnessed UFOs at some point. I think she was probably going to say at some point. Cashew says, I saw one in 2009 midday. Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen a few over the course of the years. I saw one in Lebanon, Connecticut, with 24 other people, including 2 police officers. It was at night. It was over a field and some farmland. It was round. It was rapidly changing colors: amber, green, blue, purple, red, yellow, white. And I mean, it looked like it was illuminated from like self-illuminated from the inside. I don't know. It's so hard to explain how it was just the strangest type of light that I had ever seen, and changed directions really quickly, shot up, came back down, reversed 90 degrees, then back the other way, then hovered there for a while, emitting this just kind of slight humming noise. I would say it was maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of bad with distance when I'm trying to look in the sky, but 300 to 500 yards maybe away. Wasn't very big. I mean, didn't look it unless, my depth perception was off. It was really difficult to determine just because of the way that it was changing color and moving and stuff. And then it lasted probably 3 to 5 minutes. We all watched it, and then all of a sudden it just was, and it was gone. Remember also seeing one when I was a kid. We used to go when they had the fireworks displays in town or the next town over. We used to go with my dad and my uncle in the back of his truck. We'd sit in the back of the truck and we'd go hang out in his friend's business. He had a what do they call it? A piggery. what you call it? Like a pig farm. Yeah, it was land around it. And he had this one lot that was all dirt, and we used to park there, and you could see the fireworks from there, kind of out over the horizon, over the trees. So we wouldn't have to be around, all the people downtown and craziness. So we go down there, probably an hour to 2 hours before they ever started, and the dads would, drink their beers and do all of that kind of dad stuff, and we'd hang out. And I remember all of us. I mean, this was my uncle, my dad, like all his friends saw one of these things above a field at a neighboring high school, like their soccer field. This was much higher in the air, much bigger. You could tell because it had to have been thousands of feet in the air. I don't know how many thousands, but thousands, and it still looked rather large. It was shaped like a sort of like a triangle, kind of. Hard to explain. Maybe more like a I don't even know what to call it. Like an old school, like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's kind of like a triangle, but it also kind of had this like more rounded edges. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was very strange. I remember watching that thing for quite a while. I only remember this because my uncle, my dad, and all their friends were freaking out over it. This was back when people said no one talked about these things. Mike says, I saw a UFO in Rhode Island when I was 12 years old. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you saying this. Yeah, they've been around forever, and we've been lied to forever. So this is why when I read things about the Dyatlov Pass, the Shatayeva group, the Koravina group, cattle mutilations, I always just believe that they're lying to us about those things too. Ridge Runner says, I watched mine for approximately 30 minutes, no sound, and the base did not go on alert. The base? You talking about like a military base? Ridge Runner? 30 minutes. That's a long time. Where are they from? Yeah, who knows, man. There are, I believe, what I think they've kind of figured out is there are, is it 11 or 12 dimensions? I forget, 11 or 12. Go sub to Can Squatch, guys, please. 9 subs to get to 100. This guy deserves way more than that. Can's is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy. And you know me, I support the good guys, man. He's a good guy. So please, go subscribe. I don't care if you never watch a thing. I mean, I want you to, but my whole thing is he deserves to have people subscribe so that he gets his stuff out there more. He's just such a wonderful dude. So please go sub to Can Squatch. Cashew linked it in the chat. Find it, sub. If you don't, we're not friends anymore. Period. We're not doing karate in the garage. We're not building bunk beds together. We're definitely not watching cops together. So, and you cannot call me Night Hawk. Thank you, JD Leslie. You're good folk. We're friends again. So yeah, man, and women, man and women. I believe the world is also not what you're told. What if it's never ending and we are only restricted to one area than we have underground? So, no, not even Shark Week, Long Island. Nope. Not if you don't go sub to Cans. Nope. Not Shark Week. No karate in the garage. You cannot call me Night Hawk anymore. I will no longer call you Dragon. I will not sing for you. And as you know, my voice is a mixture of Fergie and Jesus. So Figure it out. Ridge Runner subbed. Awesome. We're friends again too. We can do karate in the garage. And this house is a prison on planet Bull in the galaxy of I just don't give a. You know the truth when they call you a conspiracy theorist. Probably right. It's such a easy way for them to try to label you as being a weirdo and crazy, right? Oh, it's conspiracy. You're one of those people. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in all of these conspiracy theories, but I think that there are some that are just too plausible. Sorry, I keep seeing these. U.S. Air Force 76 security specialist. Oh, right on. Okay, so the base didn't alert to it. The U.S. Air Force base. Wow, that's nuts. Back in the 80s in East Towers, Michigan, along the Lake Huron Beach, I was outside alone eating in the dark, and a bunch of cotton-like orbs dancing around me for a few minutes. No witness. Cotton-like orbs. Weird. Did you try to touch them? Cotton's soft. I would have tried to touch them. That's just me, though. Although it's not my favorite fabric, it's one of them. I didn't touch your freaking drums. I know you touched my drums. I know you touched my drumsticks. Because one of them has a nick in it. So, stop your lying. I know you're lying because cops doesn't start until 4. Anyway, apologies if you guys don't get the references. You need to go watch that movie. It's one of the best ever. He balls my drum. Jump on him and play Moby Dick for real. Autumn Leaf, I'm a friend. I subbed. You sure are a friend. Would you like to do karate in the garage? Hey, Lake. Good to have you. Harvest Mary Moon. Good to have you. So, just all these mysteries, man. This is the stuff that just makes me. I'm just so interested. I just want to know more. The Air Force base I work on is Premier Bomber Force in the Air Force. Guess what aircraft they are? Oh. That's crazy. Sub to the Giza. Fresh, you're awesome, buddy. Oh man. You guys, fresh, man. How do I promote your business, brother? Let me help you. Like, let's promote it. How do they get in touch with you, and so they can see what you do? Let's get you some customers, brother, from over here. Tell them how to get in touch with you. If they need. I think, didn't you say you do like merch? You're like graphic designs or something like that. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. He's an inventor creator. He is an inventor creator. He's a good dude. Fresh. He's a good dude. So if you got somewhere for anyone to get a hold of you for your business, put it out there. My brother and I saw a huge red see-through orb the size of a craft overseas. We lived on base and it came from a top secret area that was underground. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, see, so it's just, you go over this. There's so many reports coming from so many different areas. There's a man in Las Vegas. There's a man in Las Vegas who he has a channel on YouTube, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've watched many videos, but I've never seen anything so consistent. I mean, this guy is filming UFOs over Nevada and over the city of Las Vegas on a regular basis. And I'm talking about some of the most spectacular UFOs that you have ever seen in your life. And his channel is called UFOs Over Vegas. I'm trying to get a hold of this man because I want to have him on the show so badly. Go check it out, please. Try to find the video that has the best clips from, I think it's like 2019 to 2022. Maybe a little long. It's maybe like 30 or 40 minutes. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Could be like 19 minutes. I don't know. I forget which one was which. But I promise you, even if it's 40 minutes or 45 minutes, it's worth every minute. It's some incredible, incredible stuff. They all look different. Well, I mean, in some videos you see the same ones over and over, but there's so many of them, and they're all very different. These beautiful, colorful things. Some that one big thing, and then all of a sudden it stops and then splits into 4 or 5 little things, and they all go in different directions. And then they come back together. I mean, this is incredible stuff. Imagine what it takes to make a craft that is able to do that. Cashew linked the movie that I keep referencing here. If you've never seen Step Brothers, and you love real immature lowbrow comedy, but also very genius comedy at the same time, you need to watch this movie. It's amazing. How old is that movie? I'd love to know because I've been quoting it literally since it came out, and it's probably maybe 15 years on. I'm still quoting it. I'm sure there's people who've not seen Step Brothers, which is just a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. 25? No, it's not 20. Is it 25 years? Are you kidding me? I can't believe that. That's a long time ago, man. 25 years? How old am I? 42? Let me do the math for me real quick. It's a serious, dramatic movie. It is. And it has many historical references. They speak about General Custer, and it historical house building. It's pretty amazing. They talk about martial arts, how to start like a music distribution business. Good stuff. You're missing out, folks, if you've never seen Step Brothers. Will Ferrell and Charles, right? No, John C. Reilly. What do you think about those humanoid figures videotaped in the sky? I have no reason not to believe they're not real. If you didn't watch the show on here with Doug Hychek, and he talked about seeing a giant humanoid figure with like a 10-foot wingspan fly down at his car with him and his wife were in it. If I didn't believe before, I believed then, because Doug is such a rock solid, honest guy who has way more to lose than he has to gain by telling a story like that. You know, this is the guy who was the first person in the world to film a giant squid alive in its natural habitat when people said they were fake, they weren't real, they were cryptids, blah, blah, blah. Doug said, yeah, you think so? Watch this. Chuck Norris style. This guy was like, I'm going to film this thing. And he just, and he did it so crazily. They were on a boat and it was nighttime, and he was like, let me rig this thing up and mess around for a minute because he was bored. And he saw one come up and snatch the rig. And so he just used the same technique to film this thing during the day, and he got it. A giant, monstrous squid. And this dude saw a humanoid figure fly at his car, swoop down. His wife freaked out. He said the face was very, very evil looking. It had giant wings. They weren't feathered. It was more like a Mothman type of thing. Thank you, Cash. Yes, UFOs over Vegas 2015, 2020. Just incredible stuff on there. Oh, I might watch it again tonight. Let me go back here because I think I missed something. The holograms. Yeah, I don't think they're holograms. Have you seen the clip with the young girl with her mother in the woods as she was flying? I did see that clip fresh. I did. It's pretty weird. I don't know. There's some movements in it that made me think maybe it's CGI, but then there's parts of it where I'm watching going, man, this kind of looks a little real too. That's the thing. And this is where it all comes back to every single time for me. We are so trained and indoctrinated to believe in just the smallest little boxed in stuff. Like, in this box, this is what you have. This is what's real. Just inside this box is what's real in your world. And nothing that's outside this box could possibly be real. This is what we've been trained to believe. And so it's so hard for people to wrap their head around the fact that we don't know it. That was 3 words, by the way. That wasn't 1 word, so I didn't curse. Yeah, Odin, please visit Cairns. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I don't have enough good things to say about him. He really treated me so well that night. And he's been a supporter ever since that day. And I think he just deserves to have many more people over there subbed. Cairns usually makes pretty short videos. They're quick, easy to watch. Doesn't take a whole lot of your time, not like me, where I sit here in Babylon for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you're like, shut up, let me have my Sunday back. Kyle's a cursing loophole. Sure do. Sky Eye. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan of Justin's, Chernopesky. Before I ever had this show, I watched all his stuff. I think he does some good work. I think he, his boots on the ground stuff is good. I think the areas he researches in are awesome. And I like the guy. I just think he seems like a decent dude. And I have seen those UFO videos. They are pretty incredible. Really, some just one more sub for Cans. Come on, guys. One more. Which one of you out there is not subbed to Cans yet? Which one of you? Don't let me find out. I will come to your house. I will. I'll show up on your doorstep. I'll stand in your front yard with a sign for days that says, this person will not sub to Cans. Don't test me. The missing 411 UFO connection will be released in December. Oh my God, I can't wait for that. I can't see what that is, Cans. What is that little thing? Is that guy with his hand over his face? Is that what that is? Shared Kansas community tab. Yes, do that. Do that. Yeah, that missing 411, that new David Paulides is going to be amazing, incredible. It seems like this is the crazy thing too, right? So for all the years that he's been doing these things, have you ever heard him actually say Bigfoot may have had anything to do with this? He did say in his video that he made, kind of promoting this new project. He said Bigfoot. He used the word. So there's going to be a Bigfoot connection. Sing. Who said they were going to sing? I didn't say I was going to sing. You don't want to hear me sing. I promise you that. See this microphone right here? This thing will explode if I try to sing. I am not a singer. I'm a dancer, though. You want me to dance? I can dance. I'm just kidding. Not a dancer. Long Island Bigfoot said he would dance for you. He said he's going to go live right after the show and he's going to dance. Yep, so he told me. I got it right here on my phone. He just texted it to me. Thank you very much, guys, for subbing to Cans. Truly appreciate it. He's good dude. So yeah, there's just so much around us that we are trained to not look into, and the second you do, people start calling you crazy, a weirdo, conspiracy theorist, nutcase. Thanks for encouraging Kyle to sing. Where did this singing thing come from? Did I say something about singing? I'm so lost with the singing thing. Long Island. I don't think people in this chat are going to get that reference. I do, though. That's Fat Joe. I need to know about the singing thing, though. I'm getting way off topic here. This is crazy. I'm sorry. So unprofessional. Oh, Fergie and Jeeves. I forgot I said it. Oh, yeah. People are talking about people. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry. You're not getting any more out of me. And if you'll only understand that if you've ever watched the movie. Oh my goodness. So good. Oh man. I wonder if I can pull up a clip of that right now. I wonder if I can. I'll probably get pulled out. I'll probably get flagged if I do it. Sorry. What about the Blue Beam Project? Blue Beam. Oh yeah, Blue Beam. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Another really crazy thing from all accounts, I guess. It's just a here, hold on. Here you go. I'm gonna read it to you. So the Blue Beam Project is a joint project. This is not. I'm not saying this is fact. I am saying that this is what they say Project Blue Beam is. A joint project of NASA and the United Nations uses the most powerful technologies to spread a new religion on Earth and create various simulation images to establish total control over humans, after which the New World Order will finally be established. Essentially, what they're trying to do is create an artificial second coming to try to control us with. It is a this stuff gets so deep and so weird and so scary because how do you know? How do you know what's real? How do you know where the lies begin and where they end? You know, that's the thing. Why you are 2 years behind me? Like humans and animals are prey victims, but why? By whom? I think you're referring back to the Dyatlov thing. Yeah, I don't know. If it's ETs, then it's plausible that they're just trying to study us. There's just so many possible explanations as to why. I think that that Project Bluebeam thing is just terrifying to me, to be honest with you. It It's been around since 1994. It's noteworthy that during the pandemic caused by the spread of the coronavirus, the blue beam theory once again came to the fore as the scenario described by Serge Monast, Serge Monast. The Antichrist uses the method of epidemics for establishing control over humans in the third final phase. Conspiracy theorists believe that this process has already begun. If this is true, um, scary, just scary. Um, if this, I believe that like there are people who are in power that are just bad people. I believe that that money and greed and power do just terrible things to some people. They corrupt them to a certain extent that um, they forget who they are and what they were originally trying to do. And then when they get around other people who have this power and this money, and I think so much money, these people tend to end up becoming very bored because they've done everything numerous times over. And so then they try doing other things. They start really delving into some weird stuff, uh, some real creepy shit stuff. See that? Uh, Cursing loophole. Um, which is where you start coming into some of the things where, like, you talk about that Pizzagate thing, or you talk about the adrenochrome, where these people in power are taking the adrenochrome from babies and trying to use it to keep them young, and just weird stuff. Or even if you think about what's his name, Harvey Weinstein, and taking these young girls to uh, islands, secluding them from their families and everybody else, and basically using them. It, just creepy, 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 creepy. I hate to think about it because if any of it is true, if any of this blue beam stuff is true, if the government is lying to us on such a massive level, then man, we just have no chance. We have none. What chance do we have? Um, I hate to think about it. Someone's hurting cats. Where are they? Where are they? I'll kill them. You don't hurt cats. Ever. You just don't. Uh, show a few days ago, she and her team witnessed portals where they go and have it on Fleer. She's hesitant to share it this time. So she didn't share this? Or was it on the show or something? I'd love to know more. How did you talk about it, or how did you find out about it? Because I'd love to see. That'd be incredible. I have a gentleman coming on the show on Wednesday who I'm very excited about. And this is a guy who has been around for a long time. I mean, a long time. He's done this for many, many, many years. 30 years, maybe. I think he just said maybe 30 or 40. I don't remember. He's done it all. He has done paranormal investigations research, Bigfoot, Dogman investigations research, UFO alien investigations research. He started the Bronxville Paranormal Society, the New York Bigfoot Dogman Project. He's been on, hey, Brian and Chewy. Thanks for being here. It's kind of a shit show tonight. That's a cursing loophole. But I wanted to come on, so it's just kind of a chat all over the place about different things. If you bow out, I understand. But so this guy's done everything. He's literally been all around the country doing this stuff for many, many years. He was taught by some people who were old school and came before him, long before the this subject was flooded with fakers and phonies and egomaniacs and uh, jerk offs and you know, people who claim to be experts. He was, you know, doing this way back when it was just about the research, when it wasn't about faking stuff for a check from YouTube or from a crappy TV show that fakes evidence. And yeah, I see. I'm using my brilliance to make the world a better place. I use my brilliance to find a cursing loophole. So for all of you out there who enjoy cursing, uh, studies have shown that people who curse are usually more intelligent, and that's true. That's a fact. That's actually a fact. Look it up. I'm not lying. I'm not joking. That's a fact. I curse all the time. I must be Einstein. Uh, just kidding. Sorry. Um, so anyway, he's been all over the world. He's been done all kinds of stuff. I'm excited. He is, when we were talking today, amazing, just amazing. What he's seen, what he's experienced, what he knows. And he'll be on Wednesday. His name is Alfred Santariga. Look him up. Uh, he's a New Yorker. He's really fun. You know, I'm an East Coast guy, so I understand that New York wit, that quick wit, and that in there. It's a different kind of humor. Not everybody gets it, but he's a funny dude. But he's got a ton of stuff to share. He's seen it all, man. I mean, just some of the crazy stuff. He Are you in KC? No, I'm not in KC. I am KC. My initials. I'm in Connecticut, actually. Patheticate, we call it here. Kansas where? 102? All right. Nice. Keep pushing. Can we get into 105? Can we get into 105? Can we get into 105? We got 105, 103, 103, 103, 103, 103. Yeah, Al is cool. He's awesome. We talked for like an hour and 45 minutes today on the phone. Just a great guy. And you know, here's the thing, right? So like you know, everybody knows the Ron Moorheads, the Doug Highchecks, the Mike Pattersons. You all know them. You may not know who Al is, but a lot of people didn't know who Trey was. Trey Howell from Squatch Me Now, and that guy was an amazing guest. I mean, just amazing, outside the box thinking and ideas, and so intelligent, and um, you know, knowledge of cameras. That guy was amazing. So I have to say this, like, don't watch the guys don't just watch the guys that you know. Watch the people you don't know, because those are the ones who you're going to get more from. You're going to hear things you never heard before. Talking to Al it was thrilling. When just talking to him about his experiences was thrilling. I knew some stuff, but man, this guy's seen it all of it. And you're going to want to watch on Wednesday. Do we hear 105? 105. Do we get 105 for cans? 105, 105, 105, 105, 103, 103, 103, 103. I see you, Chiefs hat. I'm in KC, but not a Chiefs fan. Nope, not a Chiefs fan. I just, because my initials, I wear it. I also have some Royals hats, a couple of those. And I have all kind of other hats too. Just, yeah, I'm a hat and a sneaker guy. And hoodies. Love my hoodies. Don't watch Long Island Bigfoot. He's a weirdo. Coming from Long Island Bigfoot. So, boy, I think you should probably watch Long Island Bigfoot. He's a weirdo, but watch him anyway. So yeah, Alfred, what did I bring that up for? There was a reason I brought that up. Oh, because somebody had mentioned seeing portals on someone's show. Um, we were talking today, and he was telling me about some stuff about dogman dens. Uh, man, oh man. He was also telling me about some of the paranormal stuff that he just got done doing, and the Estes method that they used. Well, they had to do it a little differently, where he was in one room, and he had the headphones and the goggles on or whatever, and then the person asking the questions was in another room, and then he would answer. They would ask a question um, in that other room into the ether, right? Al couldn't hear them, and when he would get an answer in his headphones, he would say it over the walkie-talkie so that they could hear the answer. Now he was getting all these things, and he didn't. He had no idea. But at the end, when they watched the videos simultaneously, when the people who were asking questions were getting these answers, they were like, "Dude, what? This was nuts! How accurate these answers were over and over again." Um, he was hearing whistling, all kind of different voices. It was crazy. So Wednesday's gonna be a great show, and then Friday, November 4th. Uh, I'm super stoked about Friday. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Angel Valenzuela, thank you for being here. Yes, we all miss Carrie. Carrie was a wonderful person. Yep, we do. Uh, Amazing guy. I'm super excited about this. Actually, this kind of ties into Carrie. The Sisters of the Moon are going to be on the show on Friday. Can I just tell you all real quick? Besides Carrie and Donnie, besides their encounters, um, the Sisters of the Moon to me were right there. They were 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. I mean, I could have rotated them in any of those positions as to my favorite episodes ever. Their Odyssey was awesome. They have been doing this for a while. They have some of the most active areas. They've come across these crazy, like, boneyard killing fields. I mean, just some crazy shit. Um, it's and these and I don't know if all. I don't think. I'm not sure if Miss Sandy's coming on, but Miss Debbie and Miss Barbara are definitely coming on. So this is a female group of Sasquatch researchers, which I think is amazing. I think that there's not enough females out there um, who are getting the exposure that they deserve, because there are many female researchers out there doing amazing work. Actually, I don't know if any of you are familiar with on Instagram, Forest Floor. Um, uh, I have been a follower of her channel for a very long time. Well, I don't know how long it's been around, but uh, sorry. Emily Fleur, um, the Forest Fleur on Instagram. Um, she does great work, and she was actually working with Alex Petikoff on Small Town Monsters, and I think the most recent one they were doing. I contacted her. She said she'd be on the show. Just it would have to be in November, which is about to happen. So I have to contact her again. Actually, um, the She Squatchers. There's just a lot of women out there doing amazing stuff in this field, and I don't think they're getting the proper exposure and being highlighted the way they deserve to, because this is mostly a male-dominated field. Miss Debbie, Miss Sandy, Miss Barbara are some rockin' bad ass chicks, gun toting country, um, wonderful people who I have only spoken to just briefly, and I already adore them. So they'll be on Friday. That's going to be amazing. They just got back from an expedition in Georgia. So I wasn't able to get them first. They did do Beast TV because they were out with them, I guess. So it was only right for them to do them first. And then I think they did Odyssey. So if you watch them, or if you didn't watch them on there, don't watch them, because watch them on my show instead. No hate to any of those shows. I love those guys. But I'm going to try to get them to talk about some of the other stuff, not the stuff they talked about on there. I want to get them to talk about some of the other stuff that you may have not have heard, because they have a lot to say. Emily Fleur, yes, link Emily. She's wonderful. She's very kind. Hey, Farmstead Preps. Sorry I didn't see you before. Sisters of the Moon. Yep, they're amazing. That's going to be a really fun show. And then, let me look. Hold on. I have to check. I have to check the calendar. November 8th is Election Day. Did you know that? On November 16th, I have a guy coming on who is a producer creator of a of this B movie. It was a Sasquatch movie, and he admittedly says it's a terrible movie. I kind of like crappy B movies, but the reason I'm having him on, and this is why I'm gonna tell you why, is because, like I said in the beginning when I started this, I wanted to try to get different perspectives on things. You know, this is a guy who makes movies. He made a movie about Sasquatch. He worked with makeup artists and effects guys and all that stuff. I want to talk to him about Bigfoot's place in pop culture. I want to talk to him about what it takes to make a Bigfoot suit that looks realistic, that moves realistic, and see just what this guy says. It was a B movie, but yeah, some of the B movies are really good. You're right. He says this movie is crap, and it's his movie. I think it was crap. I mean, I've seen much worse. But, you know, like I said, he worked with effects guys. He worked with costume designers to make this thing. It didn't have, obviously, $100 million budget, but it had a budget enough that, you know, they put money into this. And I want to know what it would take to make something that would be very, you know, really realistic. How would you get the body proportions right? That's one of the things that's so hard to do, right? So these creatures have arm proportions and leg proportions that are so much different than ours. I believe Thinker Thunker has broken it down many times. That guy's amazing. I'd love to have him on the show too. If anybody knows how to get a hold of Thinker Thunker, please tell me. I'll pay you $2.36. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm getting pulled off topic again. Bigfoot Lake, yes. Hellier. Holy shnikes. How incredible is that series? If you guys have not watched Hellier on Amazon Prime, I am imploring you. I am begging you. I am pleading with you. Go watch Hellier, Hellier, on Amazon Prime. It's free. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. Please watch this. It's 2 seasons. It is some of the most how would you describe it, Bigfoot Lake? Give me a few words to describe it. I'm curious to see what you say. I'm sorry, I'm taking a puff. Man, Cash, you're just so good. I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you get these things up so fast. Good Lord, I couldn't even search it using my voice-activated remote that quick. Holy shnikes about covered it. Yeah, Holy Shnikes does cover it. It's amazing. It really is. It's such a an incredibly well put together docuseries. It's 2 seasons. I forget how many episodes, quite a few. I believe they're an hour long each, I think, right? About an hour long, so maybe a little less, a little more. It starts off about this Kentucky Goblin case. If you've never heard about the Kentucky Goblins, go check them out. Yeah, it's an amazing documentary style film covering an amazing story, an amazing, incredible story that weaves it into so many different other paths. It's like it starts with this doctor who sends a email to this guy who uh, when he was a teenager had a paranormal group and a website dedicated to that paranormal group and what they investigated. Well, he left the website up just out of pure nostalgia that all his videos and stuff were on there. He didn't want to tear it down. Now he's grown, right? He's a man. He's got gray hair. I mean, I don't think he's that old, but he's got, he's probably in his early 40s, maybe late 30s. I don't know. Looks like he might have gone gray a little early, but he's not. He's not a teenager. That's for sure. He's much more accomplished. Yeah, Bigfoot Lake. Holy mother. And this doctor sends an email to that site, which has literally been just sitting there inactive for years. So that part was strange. He's trying to figure out why this email was coming to say. He didn't even read it at first. He just ignored it. Then I forget exactly what happened. Was another email came, and he made him double take, and he went back and read the email, and this doctor was telling him about how his family was being terrorized in this Kentucky town called Hellier by these little beings that he thought were coming out of the cave system on the edge of his property. Not only was he claiming this, but he had sent them pictures of footprints tracks that he had taken, and they looked like imagine a turkey track, like a three-toed track, but instead of being skinny little toes like this, they were very wide, so it kind of looked like this, and then there were dermal ridges in these tracks, and they were little. They were little tracks, like little tiny tracks. I forget, a couple inches long, a few inches long. Then he took pictures of the beings themselves, and in the pictures, these things are glowing, okay? And they look like little grays. They have the weird shaped head, they're big eyes, but they're glowing in these pictures. It's incredible. It starts there, and it goes into the most incredible mysteries, conspiracy theories you've ever seen in your life, and it's documented so amazingly. The research is incredible. They are so knowledgeable. They did not. This took time. It had to have. They really, really looked into this. I promise you, you have to watch it. It's incredible. I'm going to watch after we get off here, which is going to be in just a couple minutes. I'm going to watch it again because it's just that good. I probably watched it, I don't even know how many times now. 10, 5, 15, who the hell knows. Lake Fairy says, it's just an awesome series. We've only watched 3 of them so far. Yeah, just wait. Do you guys know who Indrid Cold is? In the chat, if you know who Indrid Cold is, put a 1. Okay, Lake knows. I know Bigfoot knows. Who else knows? Indrid Cold. If you know who he is, put a 1. If you don't, put a 2. Come on, where are you guys? Okay, so Janelle doesn't, Cans doesn't. Mike doesn't. Autumn Leaf doesn't. Trish doesn't. Yep, the Smiling Man. Yeah. Yes, Bigfoot Lake is right. Indrid Cold. If you've never seen the Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere, to me it was a great movie. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it did a great job with it. Based on true events that happened in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Indrid Cold, the Smiling Man, because he has this like weird, creepy smile on his face, from all accounts, is an extraterrestrial visitor to this planet who's a prophet. He prophesied all the things that happened at Point Pleasant town, the terrible things, the good things, everything. He prophesied all of this. Um, he's he's connected to a council of extraterrestrials who oversee, I guess, a lot of things that go on in the universe outside of our world and our solar system. He's connected to these things in some way. At least that's what uh, I learned during Hellier, that he has these connections to these other, extraterrestrials too. Um, he, he he's in this Hellier series. They even get to this guy who was part of the Mothman prophecies, the actual prophet from that Mothman prophecy movie, um, which was such a creepy movie. Um, did a stream on Lake Channel a few weeks ago covering Indrid. Yeah, Indrid's just amazing. If you've ever, you need to read um, Communion. Hold on one sec. Communion by Whitley Strieber. Amazing book about his interactions with um, extraterrestrials from years ago. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to find something real quick. Um, the Secret Cipher of the UFOnauts. You need to try to get that one. That's a good one. Dimensions, a casebook of alien contact. The rebirth of Pan. Hidden Faces of the American Earth Spirit. Bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing, bing. You need to read John Keel's The Mothman Prophecies, and Etchedorfa, Dorpa. These books all have things to do with extraterrestrials, Indrid Cold, the Mothman Prophecies. They're all kind of intertwined. Um, you read Community, yeah, frightening. I mean, just frightening, crazy. So yeah, go watch Hellier. So worth it. Go watch the Mothman Prophecies. Ties into Hellier with Indrid Cold. Read Communion by Whitley Strieber. Secret Cipher of the UFOnauts. Etta Dorpa. The Rebirth of Pan. Dimensions, a casebook on alien contact. Um, uh, I would even say, if you're interested in all this stuff, I would say read 777. I think it's called the 77 and other Kabbalistic writings by Aleister Crowley. Do you know who Aleister Crowley is? They say that Aleister Crowley performed a seance or something that actually potentially birthed the Loch Ness monster. I mean, just crazy stuff. Aleister Crowley was into all kinds of really, really dark magic. What's the word I'm looking for right now? Come on. Satanic ritualism and that kind of stuff. He's like the godfather of like the black, dark stuff. Yeah, just crazy stuff. But it's all kind of intertwined in this show, in Hellier. If you can imagine how all these different books and all these different stories become intertwined in this one thing. Occult, yeah, occult. Thank you, Bigfoot Lake. I don't know what's going on. My CTE is acting up. So yeah, I don't know how we started with the Dyatlov Pass and we ended with Hellier. I would say pretty typical for somebody with ADD. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I've been babbling on and on. But check some of those books out. Alistair brought forth a being that looked like a gray. Yeah, they say he's responsible for bringing forth like a few different things. He lived right on Loch Ness, and they said that one of the things that he did, one of the seances he had, literally potentially birthed the Loch Ness monster, and then also this gray being. And there's tales of other things that he potentially brought into this dimension through these seances and rituals that he did. This guy was something else. Really a dark wizard of some sort. And I'm not talking about the Hogwarts kind. Jack Parsons is the Whore of Babylon ritual based on Crowley. Oh, no way, really? I'll also check that. Oh my God. Okay, so I knew this actually that you mentioned this. I don't want to say it because you guys are 3 episodes into Hellier. This is all I'll say. Excuse me. Remember the name Parsons. Remember the name Parsons when you're watching that show. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it in your head. Thank you very much, Lake. Thank you, guys. This is pretty fun, actually. I enjoyed this. I love talking about this weird stuff, man. It's just so much fun. Oh, goodness gracious. I forgot to share this because maybe some of you might know. I tried to share it with some people I know in this field just because I was so excited. Anybody here know who Dr. Igor Burtsev is? Please, somebody say something. Somebody say, if you know who he is, put a 1. If you don't know, put a 2. And then we'll be done after this. Dr. Igor Burtsev. Does anyone know who he is? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Bigfoot Lake. I told you who he was. He invented America. Oh my God, nobody knows who he is. I still don't have anyone to share my excitement with. What the? Dude. Squatch Watchers, thanks, guys. Man, that's amazing that you were here. You picked the most attention deficit disorder show up on. All is well. I love you guys. Really, you guys are amazing. I want to have you back on. All of you, 4 of you, please. I know you're busy. Give me an hour. Just give me an hour. I'd love to have you back on. You guys were such great guests the last time. True gentlemen, amazing folks. If you guys don't follow the Squatch Watchers, please go sub to the Squatch Watchers. They're great guys. Just wonderful. Toby, Dave, Taylor, and Tate. These guys are sending my nephew and my niece merch because my nephew loves their channel so much, and they were on the show. Like, these are just wonderful dudes. So please go sub to the Squatch Watchers. Okay, so nobody knows who Dr. Igor Burtsev is. Yeah, let's make it happen, brother. Let's make it happen. I'd love to have you guys back on. True, like really, all four of you. I can do 4 now. Trust me. I think I'd be okay. You were like my second episode. I was pretty nervous, but I think 4 would be fine. And I've been watching. You guys have had some crazy stuff going on lately that we need to talk about. Let's talk about it. Bring it on the show. Bring some video. Bring some audio. Let's do it. And you guys are you're doing some stuff with Ron Moorhead down there. Like, these guys are doing awesome stuff. Sub to the Squatch Watchers. They're wonderful people out of North Carolina. They have some great videos. Consistently putting stuff up a couple days a week. Seems like, anyway. A few days a week. Great guys. Just great guys. I mean, really. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to send out merch to my niece and my nephews, and they did, which is just amazing. So anyway, Dr. Igor Burtsev. So Dr. Igor Burtsev is a hominologist. He's the director for the Hominology Institute of Research over in Russia. This guy speaks all over the world about this stuff. He an incredible academic mind. I spoke to him yesterday. I sent this guy a message, never thinking he would ever get back to me. I can do 4 now. I didn't think about how that sounded when it came out. Oh man, it's terrible. Thanks, Fresh. It's just made my night. Yep, can only do 3 before, but now I can do 4. I spoke to him last night. He answered my message. We spoke for like 40 minutes over Messenger. And he's speaking at a seminar here in a little while, coming up, I think, November 5th and 6th. He said that he would he'd do the show. He's very busy. He's traveling all over the place to do these seminars and stuff, and working on getting funding for these things related to studying force beings. But he said he would do the show. He said he would, he may only be able to give me 45 minutes to an hour, but that's pretty exciting stuff. This guy is a very, 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 very smart academic mind. He's a doctor, for God's sakes, a doctor of hominology, nonetheless. So hopefully we'll get him on this show. Anyway, hour and 47 minutes, babble, babble, babble. I'm all done. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Please tune in Wednesday, November 2nd, 8 p.m. live, Alfred Santariga. Dude's done everything. We're going to talk paranormal. We're going to talk UFOs and aliens. We're going to talk Bigfoot, Dogman. Who knows? Maybe talk burgers and fries. I don't know. But we're going to get into it. And then Friday, the Sisters of the Moon, Miss Debbie, Miss Barbara, hopefully Miss Sandy, but as of the other day, she couldn't make it. So, at least we'll have 2 of them. Thank you, guys. I love you. Mike, Standard, this weekend, dude, we're good to go. Back's still a little sore, but I'll be fine by then. I'm doing enough that I'll be okay. Cashew, thank you. You're the best. Long Island, love you, brother. I love you all. Please be good to yourselves. Take some time to do something for yourself. Take some time to relax, unwind. You need to. Can't always be about work. Go, 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 go. Do for you. Okay? I love you. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you on Wednesday. And we are out. Not yet.